let me now introduce and welcome Mr. S.L. Narayanan, Chief Financial Officer of Sun Group. He joins us live from Chennai. Mr. Narayanan, this is Nikunj Dalmia from the Mumbai studio. Thank you for joining us. Let me first start with the aviation sector and how dynamics are shaping for your company in the aviation sector, given the way how things have changed for the entire aviation sector after Kingfisher Airlines.
Sorry, I missed that part of the question. My apologies. I'm somewhere in a place where the audio is getting disturbed. Can you please repeat yourself?
No problems. What I want to understand first from you, how are things shaping up for your aviation business, given the way how dynamics of Indian aviation sector have changed after Kingfisher Airlines or KFA downsized their operations?
Yeah, I think generally, that's not something which is unique to one player. There's been some overcapacity in the industry. I think almost all airlines have rationalized routes and, optimized capacity balancing. And that's showing up in better fares, and I think that's good for the industry.
Mr. Narayanan, let's also talk about the new strategy that the company is adopting in light of the numerous problems that have plagued it. You haven't raised advertising rates since August 2011. You've added new channels besides offering free set-top boxes to cable operators as well. Will you continue to adopt this strategy for some more time now?
No, I think the listed company is not in the business of distribution. Sun TV is a broadcaster. What we're going to have effective 1st of July this year is the 4 metros will go digital. And at the moment, since, as you know, most broadcasters don't get their fair share of the value that's generated at the retail end, I think to begin with, in the city of Chennai, we will see much improved penetration of the organized sector. We already have a rapidly growing DTH sector in the country, of which another group company is a part, which is Sun Direct. And I think with greater digitalization, we should see better prospects for all broadcasters.
Can you share a number with us?
Next year, I think it is too premature to, forecast a number. But suffice it to say that the reporting of actual numbers in the cable universe, as everybody knows, is very, very, dismal. So the MSOs get a very small share of the value that's generated, and they in turn pass on an even smaller portion of that value to the broadcaster. And this is something which almost all broadcasters in the country have been petitioning the government. And I'm glad that finally something is happening. I think next year will be almost 18 other large cities, which is in excess of 1 million in population. And there are at least 4 or 5 cities in that group where the Sun TV is very firmly entrenched, which is Bangalore, Hyderabad, Vizag, Cochin, and Coimbatore. So we will see a much improved penetration in the cable system. Or even if cable companies don't have the wherewithal to finance subscriber acquisition, I think the DTH companies are all raising capital. They would probably take an even higher share of the universe. And that's my personal assessment.
Mr. Narayanan, the last 12 months politically and from a business perspective are extremely challenging for the Sun Group. Do you think this financial year and this calendar year, things will improve?
Yeah, I think all of us are hopeful that, we will, as I always say, that there's no point, discussing this over the media. I think we are cooperating with the authorities. We hope, justice will prevail at the end of the day.
Mr. Narayanan, there are media reports that have been indicating with regards to SpiceJet that you might use Reliance Industries' infrastructure for fuel import. Your comments on that, and have you finalized your partner for fuel import?
No. I think at the moment, things are very, very, it's still early days. We have made an application with the DGFT. I mean, while there is a possibility that ATF can be directly imported by airline companies, the devil, as they say, is in the detail. We need to figure out what are the costs, what are the storage elements, and I do believe that there is a substantial tax arbitrage which has excited a lot of private sector players in oil and gas. But we don't have anything on the ground to share with you at this time. It's still work in progress.
In your aviation business, at an operating level, given the way how crude prices have moved, are you making profit or are you making losses?
See, I think you've already seen the third quarter results. The December quarter, we substantially narrowed the losses. September was a really challenging quarter, not only for SpiceJet, for almost the entire aviation industry in the country. But December being a seasonally more active quarter for business, and also because we did some rearguard action in terms of cutting costs and rationalizing routes, we narrowed the losses substantially. I think from 240 crores loss in September, we were down to about 39 crores in December. So I think we continue to execute well, and we run a tight ship. And we hope that in the coming quarters, things will be a lot better.
SpiceJet is one company, Mr. Narayanan, where promoters about 6 months ago, they have infused personal money. So if FDI limit in the aviation sector is opened, would you welcome that move?
Certainly, I think it's good for the aviation industry that foreign players are allowed. I think this is something that we've been hearing for quite a while. But at this time, I don't think the actual amendment has gone through. But we certainly welcome that, and I think for any industry, free participation of capital and those kinds of enabling provisions will only go a long way in improving the health and vitality of the sector. We welcome this, and we are grateful to the Government of India for this initiative.
But Mr. Narayanan, can we expect further equity infusion by the promoter?
Yeah, actually under law it is restricted to 5% in every financial year. So the promoter group infused about 136 crores in November, and that took the equity holding by about 5% up. And as we speak, in this month, another 5% will be acquired by the promoter group, and at the end of this allotment, the promoter group will be holding about 48.6% of the expanded equity.
So the additional 5% which you just indicated, that would be over and above what they infused in the month of November. This will be additional 5% which the promoter group will infuse later in this month.
That's right, because the earlier 5% was for the financial year ended 31st March 2012. And the most recent 5% tranche will be for the financial year ending March 2013.
From a market perspective, your stocks have got derated because of the political problems, because of all the legal issues. So how exactly are you addressing the issues which have been raised by your investors? Because Sun TV is down by about 50% in last 1 year, and SpiceJet has taken a knock of about 50% in last 12 months.
Yeah, it's natural whenever there is bad news, the stock does get impacted. But somewhere in between is also the realization that out of great stress also arise great opportunities. So we continue to focus on the operating businesses, make sure that all these businesses are substantially resourced, and stay focused on all the basics of good management. Continue to improve utilizations, watch cash flows, cut costs, make sure that people are motivated and stay focused on their jobs. And also equally resource whatever that needs to be managed on the judicial front. As I said, that we are cooperating completely with the authorities. It is unfortunate, but we are going through those proceedings. But we are very, very confident that we will be able to convince the authorities that everything was above board.
Mr. Narayanan, just getting back to the point that you were earlier making about equity infusion by the promoter. Could you give us an exact timeline? When is this exactly going to happen?
Sorry?
Could you give us a time frame as
sorry,
to when is the next tranche by the promoter going to be infused in the company?
No, I think it's too early to make a guess on when the next tranche. As I said, it's capped at 5% for each financial year, and that entitlement will be utilized this month fully. What's going to happen after 31st March 2013 is not something that I'd like to comment on at this stage.
So I might sound slightly repetitive with this one, but in your aviation business, do you have a cash break even?
No, as I told you, we continued to lose money in December, but we cut down our losses substantially. And as I said, since then there's been a lot of improvements in load factors and yields. And as we go into the holiday season, everybody travels in the month of May, June. We're hopeful that the trajectory will improve even further.
You're sharing with me what you did in the month of December. I'm curious to understand from you what you did in the month of Jan, Feb and March.
No. As you know, we have very, very strict codes of governance. I certainly can't be saying this on your channel prime time viewing hours. It's very, very difficult for me to even hazard a general statement at this stage.
Okay, so
we'll be announcing the results in the month of May, and I'm sure you'll know by then.
But Mr. Narayanan, with Kingfisher actually having to reduce its operations, that would have been beneficial for SpiceJet.
Yeah, I think it's benefited all the players. It's axiomatic. I'd be lying if I said it hasn't benefited. When there is a reduction in supply, automatically the prices goes up. The laws of economics operate. So, yes, certainly it has helped.
Right. Final question on Sun TV. If I look at your Q2 versus Q3 performance or Q3 versus Q2 performance, profits were under stress, EBITDA came under pressure, and there was a revenue drop. Should we expect a marked improvement when it comes to your Q4 performance, where at least the decline will get arrested?
See, actually Q3 over Q2 and Q3 over Q3 of last year were again not comparable, because we had that one-time revenue and profits from Yandaran, the movie Robo, which starred Rajnikant. So we had a one-time extraordinary top line and profits. And that didn't happen in December. And that apart, generally the ad spends have been under pressure because, as you know, the first half of FY12, we had generally high inflation and a lot of advertisers cutting back on spends. So it's not just Sun TV, the entire broadcasting universe bore the brunt of cutback in spending and promotions. But this is seasonal. I think it just reverses. If you look at our last 5-year trend, generally ad spends have been growing at about 15 to 16% totally, and within that the television share has been growing faster, and within that regional television has been growing even faster. So I'm sure one of these days that trend will get reversed, because I do believe that with more and more product launches and more people coming into India and reaching out to what is really a large consumption story here, I think our prospects over the long term should be considered good. And with greater digitization, we will also get better subscription revenues. So net, I think we look forward to the
Right. I know I've extended my appointment with you, but thank you for patiently answering all our queries, and really appreciate your time.
Many thanks.